Hello.
Hey, boys and ghouls.
This is our November wrap-up. I only read 5 books this month.
I only read 6.
So, Kathy, would you like to start?
Absolutely. First thing I finished in November was The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood. The premise is third-year PhD candidate. She just broke up with her sort of boyfriend. She just went on a couple days with him. And she has a best friend who has shown interest, and she wants that best friend to feel like she can pursue this guy without any hard feelings. So Olive, the main character, decides to make her friend think she has a new boyfriend, so she randomly kisses someone in her school-ish. Well, he's a professor. It's hard to explain.
Professor Kylo Ren.
Professor Kylo Ren. PhD student Rey Skywalker kisses Professor Kylo Ren Ben Solo. I hated saying Rey Skywalker even as a joke. I'll never say it again. But yeah, so she randomly kisses him, and then they start a fake dating relationship. I enjoyed this book. This book has a lot of hype absolutely everywhere. On TikTok, on Twitter, just everywhere. And I liked it. I didn't love it. I don't quite understand the hype. It was very full of, like, tropes, like, very unlikely to happen scenarios, but, you know, it's okay. It's her first book. Well, I mean, I don't actually know if it was, because she wrote, Hazelwood, she converted this from a Star Wars fan fiction into a book, and I don't know how many of those she's written, but it was her debut, so I'm assuming with some growth, it's going to be a lot better, because I did think this was fun, and obviously I bought it, so.
How many stars?
3.25.
Okay. First book I read was How to Date Your Dragon. I bought this a while ago. If you know, self-pub. Also, not well self-pub because they have the words upside down. In case you didn't know, you're supposed to flip those. But yeah, so I gave this 3 stars. This is about, what's her name? This book had very little staying power with me. Jillian. So
short.
It is very short. Well, it's self-pub.
Yeah,
self-pub romance.
Is it even 200 pages?
I don't know.
204.
But Jillian it's a paranormal romance, and Jillian gets into a town called Mystic Bayou, which is basically a town full of paranormal creatures, and her job is to research them, to learn how to maybe replicate that kind of town throughout the world, because humans don't know that these creatures exist. And she dates a dragon.
Neat.
It was 3 stars. I'm probably gonna unhaul this.
Oh. That's fine. Oh, should I do mine next?
Yes.
My next was Truth of the Divine by Lindsay Ellis. This is book 2 in the Nomina series. Basic premise of the first book is a boring main character is somehow in the middle of a situation she absolutely has no business being in the middle of, where it's like a first contact alternate history of 2008. So it's aliens, and like she's a screw up, and she's like 21 or something, and she's an absolute mess. And the author...
My dog's snorting under the door.
The author doesn't want you to forget for even a second that she's a hot mess, even if it means making her the most annoying character in the entire universe. In book 2, I found horrendously offensive for many reasons. The alien's supposed to be a love interest. That's how it's marketed from this author, because she has a thing with, like, monster boyfriends, and she knows that a lot of her audience does too. So she has told us all, oh, that's what this is, and we're book 2. Didn't happen. She was instead dating a human for most of it, and that human had inner monologue, basically almost word for word saying how, like, even though she was distressed when they were about to have sex, that he deserved to have sex and he had earned it, so he's going to do it. And it was a lot of that kind of stuff. And I think it was just bad. The character was really irritating. She screamed. Like, she had about 8 or 10 panic attacks in this book. And it was really irritating how it was portrayed. And I hated it. I gave it 1 star. I hated it.
The next book I read was Bag of Bones by Stephen King. It got 2 stars, and we have an upcoming video on it about our feelings, so I'm not going to go into details about it here, but I gave it 2 stars, so you kind of guess.
Next book I read, Silverborn by Patricia Briggs. Sarah, tell the kids at home what the plot is.
So in Silverborn, Mercy is dealing with some fairies and also some personal issues with Samuel.
I guess that's basically all you can say. I didn't love it. I felt about this book the way I felt about every other book in the Mercy one so far. It's like, it's fine. I don't love it as much as Charles and Anna. So
next, I read A Fistful of Charms by Kim Harrison. I'm going to be very gentle here. This is the 4th in the Hollow series, or the Rachel Morgan series, if you prefer. In this one, Rachel is going to help her no-good ex-boyfriend out of a jam he's got himself into. And I gave it 3 stars. So, this one's just not one of my favorites. It's not my least favorite. My least favorite is White Witch Black Curse. But I enjoy it. I don't enjoy it very much. Just because, they're out of town. A lot of the main players aren't in it for very long. And it's dealing with a character that isn't going to be in the next book.
I always feel weird about series where, like, either it's a spin-off of the series or it's, like, one where, a ton of characters don't show up, and it always feels to me like what, you couldn't afford them? Like, when you do, like, a backdoor pilot and you can't get the characters, like, I keep thinking of the spin-off of Beautiful Creatures, where, like, Lena and Ethan were barely in it, and it's like, for what reason? You're the author. You have complete control over how much they're in it, and you could have written a series, or at least had the first book had them in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more entertaining for the long-term audience, but no. The next book I read was 99% Mine by Sally Thorne, which I think I gave 3 stars in the end, and I said in the vlog I would have liked it a lot better if it were shorter, but it was very long with virtually no plot, and I just wasn't into it. I didn't feel very strongly about the characters, so I just kind of wanted it to be over. I don't have a lot to say about it.
Next, I read The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. I gave it 1 star. The Soulmate Equation is about a woman who, being forced into getting her dating profile put on this new app by her best friend, where it basically tests her DNA against everyone else who's done the program to find her perfect match, her soulmate. And it was, for the most part, the blandest love story I have read in a long time. Alternatively, like, the dumbest stuff. I didn't care for it.
2 grown adults with, like, the stupidest reason to fall apart at the end.
Okay, here's the thing, is it turns out that her match... There's too many spoilers. You know what? Go watch the vlog.
Yeah, if you're cool with spoilers, I read that book before we did this, so my thought, I would have ranted a lot. I had a lot of problems with this book. The next book I read was For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing, which is a kind of thriller. I felt very young adult, but I don't think it was. There's this teacher who does bad things to people to, like, try and make them better. Like, he tries to, like, teach them lessons so they become better people, and people get murdered. And
every time I hear the plot of a thriller, I'm just like, ugh.
Well, Books and Lala said this book was good, I think, or she loved it, and so I read it, and I keep reading.
She has self-admitted weird taste.
Well, I mean, yeah, a lot of books she loves I really hate, which is on one of my lists for my worst of the year. But the way I described it in my Goodreads review was, I think, tremendously dull. That's basically my problem with it. It was just dull.
Okay.
I didn't care about the characters. I found the main character tedious.
All right, so the last book I read this month, which I gave 5 stars, is The Charm Offensive. I actually really love this book. I thought it was really cute. I thought it was really sweet. This is basically a Bachelor parody, but instead of falling in love with one of the girls, the guy falls in love with his producer. And it's super sweet. I liked the representation pretty well. The end had potential to really annoy me, but I thought the way they brought it all together was actually really nice, and I enjoyed it, which romances do not often get from me. Usually if I like a romance, it is despite the ending. So, yes, 5 stars. I really enjoyed this one.
Neat. This is my copy, actually. Yeah. I haven't read it, but I bought it because Amazon was having a sale, so she's read it and loved it and doesn't have a copy, and I haven't read it. And
I need that book again for a future video.
So I'll just leave this here. The last book I finished was The Stand-In by Lily Chu. The premise is an adult woman looks identical to a starlet. That starlet is in town doing a theater show with her very grumpy friend, and the starlet wants to her mental health is very bad. She doesn't want to go out and schmooze or deal with people. So she hires this girl who's down on her luck to pretend to be her, to be seen in public, to get attention for the show, and to do the whole people thing. And I thought it was okay. Again, it was overly long. It was over 10 hours. I didn't really feel any chemistry between the main character, Gracie, and the love interest. I think his name was Sam. I liked the love interest. I liked the starlet better. Like I thought she was more entertaining. And the twist at the end was really silly and weirdly done. But It was okay. I gave it 3 stars.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it's a shorter one.
We didn't read a lot. We had stuff going on.
Yeah, if you watch the vlogs, you'll realize it was kind of a rough month for us.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Or if you pity us. And we will see you in the next video.
Later.